So today we're gonna be an extra. This is basically an extra video about other stuff other than this border measure thing, which, as you can see, still has not opened yet. Which, of course, I feel tired and all, but then I don't want to just talk about this border issue every single week, which is I will talk about it every single week, but I want to make some extra video besides just talking about this border measure things to lighten up the mood actually to and basically I just talk about something like anime like because if you go to Japan basically you most of us would know about anime and stuff and I do watch some anime recently about the fall. I think was it fall 2021 now? Yeah, it's about the well, well, this season is fall 2021, which a lot of anime has comes out, and I do talk about it before, but I'm gonna just talk more about it since just want to be really dive into this anime kind of thing, anime things like that. Let's just say anime movie, anime manga, or even anime, just the pure anime like that. So for the October 2021 new release anime, there is a lots of it. I would say that some of them was good, some of them was controversial, some of them was purely just well, it's so bad that it's good. Basically, I would say one of for now until episode I think two or three or four somewhat the good ones. I do watch Blue Period, which is somewhat of a good and actually great anime that I don't know if lots of you talk about it, but for me, I do like the aspect of art in anime, which is quite good to be honest. And well, most of the time when I do watch other type of anime like art and stuff, it usually move towards this uh, dangerous romance in a sort of way. But then for this Blue Period, it do dive into what art is, what art is, why people want to do this art, this thing called art, and basically also about the societal problems and all of that things. Well, it is quite good for the first 3 4 periods. The opening is good, the ending it says okay, I guess, but and I don't really listen to the ending, but the opening is real good, and it also feels like you are watching someone chasing a dream, and it makes me want to chase my dream. But then of course with this kind of situation with the border closure, and I do feel somewhat wouldn't say irritated. I would say irritated since when I listen to some of these people in Twitter talking about immigration restriction that they wanted it. Some Japanese, I don't know, expert or what, or some doctors, I would say that supporting the immigration restriction, which irritates me because he says that something about how foreigners would bring the new COVID variants toward into Japan, which I would say is a crap analogy, which is well basically a shit analogy. It irritates me that there's people like that when there's a lot of like let's just say students and foreigners basically just coming to Japan to meet with their other half to study and chase their dreams and to work there and basically also chase the dream of living in Japan, which is being perceived as negative in some way by this guy, I forget his name, but it is very much sort of irritates me, because for me personally, I do think that it wasn't really foreigners. In fact, if you look at it recently, like a lot of it comes from basically just some of the Japanese people who just came back from maybe foreign countries, just getting new strain. But it's also like, why, how can it spread if we just go to, like, we can do quarantine, we don't really care about quarantine. If we have to do it, we have to do it. Then, like, that's the answer that I would say. Yeah, but I think we have already drifted out of the main thing that we are talking about, which is the anime Blue Parrot, about the chasing the dream stuff. But then, yeah, basically that's good until now. And then the anime that I would say it's average, and I'm still watching it. I forget what's the name again. It's about an, well, it's isekai about this guy in with gorilla stuff, which is very much nonsense already. It's nearly becoming more and more towards the bad. Like, there's a good and a bad, and it's already a bad one. I would say it's closing towards me dropping this anime, and I forget the name again. What, I really forget. It's about an isekai, which, like, a guy who, I don't want to use the term, but a guy who is a little bit into the more fat, I would say, which I should not say, but I'm sorry, because it's about this anime. But these these students who, like, a group of students get transported to another world, like, and then this person that's who is quite who gets bullied too by other students, that suddenly get transported to a different place from this group of students, and this guy just eat some random food and become, I don't can't really keep up to it, and then had a waifu which is a gorilla and become a girl, and a real girl like that, and just very confusing for me. And I don't really, well, somewhat people would say that you can't I'm gonna talk about something else now. Well, some people do say on Twitter that you can't criticize animators because they work very hard, and we are not expert, and I'm not expert. Let's just say similarly. But for me, it's that it's an entertainment industry in some way, that I would say that if a show is bad, then I would say it's bad. But I do know that they do work hard. But if it's not good, then I would have to say truthfully, I can't just say it's any anime is good, because there's these people who work, they do take it from manga, or they have the inspiration to do it. And if it's good, the end result is good, then I would say it's good. And when it's bad, then I would have to say it's bad, because it's almost like a criticism. In an entertainment industry, without criticism, then it can't really prosper, or what you would say successful. The success would not be taken. But then, of course, that's another, I don't really support it, but I do feel like criticism is something that should be truthfully said. When it's bad, you can say it's bad. When it's good, you can say it's good. Well, this isekai on isekai that I forget the name is quite bad. I had do one anime that I want to watch, but I haven't. Is what, Destiny something. Attack of Destiny. I think the title of the name of the anime, which I haven't watched, but I heard it's really good. And, well, I would be waiting to watch it actually, which is good for it. And I'm gonna review it at the end of the season, basically. Maybe. And then the anime that I do think people are talking about in a bad way, and I think it's a good anime, is Tesla Note. Which Tesla Note, of course, as you can tell from the animation itself, is CGI anime, and some people say it's on par with X Arm because it's made by new studio. I forgot the name. Something like, I think some new anime studio, which, as you can see with new anime studio with X Arm, and you can see the correlation already, in which Tesla Note, well, the story is good. To be honest, the story is good. The animation is, you know what the animation is all about, like CGI and things. Well, I don't necessarily like. I'm sorry to say, but if any mecha fans is watching, then I'd have to say that I don't really like mecha because of the 3D CGI things. It's one part of reason, but there's a lot of reasons why I don't really like mecha anime. But I don't hate CGI or 3D in some ways, but in other ways I might hate it. Like in mecha anime, I don't feel like it just doesn't feel fits in rightly with, let's just say this. Well, I'm not saying CGI or 3D, but in this mecha anime, I don't really feels like watching it, and I don't know why, but I just don't really hate it. I don't really like it that much compared to, well, CGI anime, which is, well, some CGI anime that I like X-Arm and Tesla, because they're shit that it's good for me, but I do know that some of you might say it's shit, and I do understand that it's shit, but then for me it's good in some ways, that I do like this animation somewhat, because it fits in perfectly to, like, when an anime that is bad, so bad that it become good, that it fits in that category, that I would watch it. And it's all about Tesla fragments and all of that, and they have to take these Tesla fragments and keep it to themselves, to not let it out towards evil people like that. The story is good, the animation is, you know how, but then, yeah, well, I would still want to give it a go, because I think that bad animation is good sometimes, because if you think that X Arm is bad. Well, for me itself, it's a bad anime that is good, somewhat. There's a bad anime, then there's bad and good anime. Bad anime, but it feels good to watch it because you just have a love of it. Basically, that's what I would say. You can laugh all about this animation that's abhorrent, I would say, but then at the same time, it becomes comedic somewhat. That I like this kind of anime actually. So yeah, so basically we can I will wait for new episode every week, and hopefully I would talk about this more after, like, as an extra some days too. And so for now, guys, hopefully you'll like, subscribe, and share this video, and comment on your opinion about some of the anime that I'm talking about. And see you guys next time. Bye bye.